Welcome to the Christian Channel. I'm your host, Yanitza Munoz. Today we have the founders of the water brand, Renewal Rain. We have Aaron and Waylon today. Thank you guys for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
I also love that you guys flew all the way from Ohio to be here today.
I actually got lucky. Aaron had to fly from Ohio. I got to fly from Texas, so it was a little bit easier for me. But
Nice.
We appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, guys. So tell me a little bit about Renewal Rain and what inspired you to create a faith-based water brand.
Yeah, so it was back in June of last year, and we were on our way to the gym, and we were just talking about the Super Bowl that had just happened in that February, and we were reminiscing about a commercial of another water brand that had participated in having a witch perform witchcraft on the cans for the commercial. So we were just talking about it, and we thought it was weird that there weren't entrepreneurs that were creating things for Christians, by Christians, and to Christians as well. But not just that, of course, expanding beyond that. But went to the gym, came out, and we just looked at each other like, yeah, I think we're going to do this. And we just had a real hard talk like, hey, we are probably going to go into some serious debt here. But, you know, if you are good to do this, dude, let's do it. And here we are.
Wow, what an interesting story. I mean, I can't even imagine. You just see like this advertisement of a water, or you just see the water being sold, and that's like their slogan, right? It's kind of like, whoa, what is the world coming to?
Absolutely. We were kind of taken aback by that and seeing that, and just the timing of it was pretty, it was actually kind of comical, honestly, our conversation to and from the gym, because we were talking about it to the gym. And then I remember getting out of the gym and like driving back, and you obviously have that euphoric feel when you work out. You feel good anyways, so we're feeling good, and we're like, let's just do it. Like, pull the Band-Aid off, let's give it a shot and see, knowing absolutely nothing about any of this stuff. Like,
Well, who knows? Maybe Jesus was speaking through you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
That's what we feel.
It was 1,000% the result of this. So.
Well, I'm proud of you guys.
thank
That's
you.
amazing that you guys came up with this brand. So with that being said, how did your faith influence in the way you operate, specifically the business of this? I know it's tough to have faith-based brands because having a brand in general is tough because you have to come up with funding and everything of that nature. But with a faith-based brand, how's your faith influenced it? Have you guys seen any pushback so far?
It's a great question. So, you know, to kind of piece it piece by piece, how does our faith dictate how we operate things, right? For me personally, I got to give a ton of credit to Aaron, Nico. It's one of my best friends. When he initially moved in with me when I moved to Dallas, he got me back into church, got me back into my faith. So that was the initial kind of push into my faith that I needed to get, you know, that revitalized and started. But for our company in general, it's been a lot of faith on my end, and we're extremely proud of this, by the way. We own 100% of the company as we record today and talk today. We're blessed to be able to have the funding. We haven't had to go get it yet. We know that we will at some point, but we've been very blessed to have other successful ventures that have been able to fund this as kind of a exciting project and something big for us. But there's been a lot of faith on my end, trusting what he's doing day in, day out, connecting with folks like yourselves, and seeing inventory. I don't know anything about this stuff. Like, I see pallets of water being delivered to a warehouse that we just signed a lease for. That's all faith for me. It's like, God, I know you're doing the right thing here, but like, please make us right. You know what I mean? So that's been 100% faith in every aspect, every regard as far as that goes. Like, I mean, just thinking about it now and talking about it out loud is crazy to think, because I'm a risk taker, but on things that I know. I don't know anything. I didn't know anything really about the water business or distribution or all the aspects that go into running a successful brand or company, but it's all been faith, and it's growing rapidly because of God. I mean, that's literally what this is.
Yeah.
So couldn't. It's all faith. Literally every aspect of this business is ran on faith. So
Beautiful. And I mean, it's such a beautiful story too, because as you mentioned earlier in the interview, like how it started, what inspired you to create this. So what specific values guide you on your decision-making process for Renewal Rain, and how do they reflect your mission?
Yeah, so the values that we run by is obviously Christ is the center of what we do, but not just being the center, but also is what we are trying to emulate, but then also get people to realize that there is an invitation. There is an invitation to the cross, there is an invitation to salvation, and there is an invitation for acceptance through that. And so that's kind of where we're coming from through that. But yeah, just to say it in a real short-winded answer because I could go on for a long time.
Well, another question for you, Aaron. Why the name Renewal Rain?
Good question. Renewal Rain wasn't the initial idea. It was actually a much cheesier idea, and it was Liquid Life, which was just, of course, the obvious go-to when we were
of course
thinking. And then we got smacked with a trademark infringement. So
that'll make you change your name quickly.
Yeah.
For those of you out there.
had to go back to the drawing board, and really to kind of piggyback on what he gave about it all being faith. It stems from prayer, and we took 3 days and just prayed about it. Also, too, after prayer, I felt like I should just try to use ChatGPT. So we used ChatGPT.
This is not an ad for ChatGPT.
We used AI to kind of give us a lot of ideas, and so on the list, renewal was its own option, and then rain was another option. And so just taking those apart and putting them together was kind of where that came from. But the ChatGPT gave us a big help, I would say.
Beautiful.
For sure.
Well, it kind of ties into one of your guys' favorite Bible verses, correct? For Ephesians?
Yeah. Ephesians 4:22-24 just talks about removing the old self, putting on the new self, and lets you know that you are made in righteousness and holiness. And so actually, I just want to read it for people so that they can understand. We're going to read it
Each
right
and
on
every
the
single can of our initial flavor, our flagship flavor, guys.
So here we have, you were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, which is created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. And so it's really just a reminder, not just to everybody, but really it was to ourselves. Like, if we were going to be doing this, we kind of have to put off the old self. You can't come in this hypocritical. And so that, as we were thinking about that, it really shaped the way that we started thinking and changed our, I guess, paradigms as well. And then that is why it became the favorite for us. And once we saw it, we were like, yeah, this is renewal rain. You have to renew yourself. So yeah, it was just all putting it together, and that's where we came from. But yeah.
I also love the logo too.
Thank you.
I love that there's Jesus there. It shows, Jesus died on the cross for our sins. So he's also here in the sense to renew us.
Yes.
Absolutely. No, we're very grateful for some of the hard work, some of the folks, again, we've been able to partner with on these different projects. Stefan, he's actually here with us today. He was a huge part of the design. Literally couldn't be done without him. I could barely draw like a square house with a triangle roof. So he did incredible work, and we're very pleased with it. And obviously the meaning behind it is what's most valuable. But
Yeah.
it did an incredible job of depicting what we were looking to capture. So
Beautiful.
I'm thankful for that.
Well, I also love that, as you guys mentioned, it not only represents faith and hydration, also just the morality of making the right decisions, which you guys are definitely doing. What challenges have you faced in merging faith and business, and have you overcame any of them so far?
So it's a great question. So I guess I'll answer this in two parts because it's probably easiest thus far, because as Aaron mentioned, I keep calling him Nico. That's what I call him, so I apologize. But initially, in the business sense, we're a pretty new startup business. We're a year old essentially here pretty soon, right? We haven't had a lot of issues as far as pushback and things of that nature. As we ramp up and do some of these marketing campaigns, we started to see some of it, some kind of hate mail or bad comments, stuff like that. Sure. But that doesn't really move the marker for us. That's just somebody on the internet saying whatever they feel, and that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. They can think what they want. But for me, the biggest pushback, I guess, if you will, is an internal faith kind of, I don't want to call it a fight, but it's been a beautiful thing for me, a journey for me on a personal level. Again, got to keep saying it, but Aaron's the one that got me back into church. Not that I ever strayed away from being a Christian. I've identified myself as a Christian throughout the entirety of my life. But, I definitely was too far from the church, not necessarily living the way that I was telling people I was necessarily living. I was lying to myself a little bit, wearing two faces, like we all somewhat do in every aspect of our life. So this company, the advent of the water, has been just more of a much higher arching thing for my life personally. So on a personal level, that's been the battle. The battle for this on the business side, it's honestly just been a blast. We've been extremely blessed since day one. Things aren't supposed to go as smoothly as they have. We both know that. We talk about it all the time. We have people reaching out to us. We're not going and trying to grab attention. They're like, hey, we want to work with you. And that's God in action. He's got his hands all over this. It's not us. It's 100% him. And again, all the battles, if you will, have all been personal. But it's, again, I'm having hurdles placed in front of me as a result of this company that we're starting. to better myself. And that's been as big of a blessing, if not bigger, on a personal level than the company itself. So, yes, have we faced obstacles like any company? Sure. Like whether it's, hey, we need to balance this. Hey, we got to pay this stupid invoice. Hey, our warehouse, 2,700 cans fell over. We got to fix this. Yeah, that's day-to-day stuff in a business.
Yes.
But your faith being tested and having the chance to show endurance is more valuable than anything else that this could have given us.
Yeah.
So.
Beautiful, beautiful story. And it's very true. Going into business is not easy, but I love that you guys have the right business model and the right brand to pull forward and to help others understand that you can be renewed.
Yep.
And faith is something that is important in our daily lives, especially in the crazy times that we live in at the moment.
Absolutely.
So what would be your ultimate goal right now? I know you guys are new. I think you guys are going to be super famous one day, so don't forget about me. But what is your guys' ultimate goal? Obviously, maybe to be nationwide, maybe one day even be at international airports. Maybe I'll find you worldwide, maybe somewhere someday. But what is your ultimate goal?
That is the goal. Mm-hmm. The Bible talks about the gospel being spread to the ends of the earth, and we look at this like a tool to be able to spread the gospel, or at least a tool that somebody else can use to spread the gospel to somebody. So we do see ourselves in the stores, in airports. I'm talking with Sky Chef right now to try to get in there. Coca-Cola is a headache, so I don't know if we can compete with them, but just stuff like that. And really, we're going to focus on churches is the main focus for right now, probably until the end of the year. What we want to do is build a distribution channel within the churches. So then that way, when somebody goes to our store locator and they go to find where Renewal Rain is, it's going to be in a church. And then so they have to go to church in order to get the drink, at least to start out. And it gives people the opportunity to usher the gospel to somebody that may not have heard it or might need a refresher or even a home church to go to. We're trying to put ourselves in a position that we can allow other Christians to finally have the ability to actually spread the gospel to people in a more powerful way. Beautiful.
Also, what I love about that message is it's like you guys aren't selling out. Like imagine if someone's like, oh, well, why don't we put you guys well, maybe who knows if it is in a club, might help people clear their mind.
That's actually a pretty good point, if you don't mind. Like we actually, that's one of the initial discussions that him and I had. And it was funny enough, it wasn't a difficult discussion. It was just an opportunity. And that's how, again, I know that God's hands are all over this. It is because we had a pretty, I would call it a sizable opportunity to be in that scene, the clubs, the bars. I have a lot of friends that work in that scene, a lot of history, past, whatever in that scene, and it was a big opportunity. Still is. We decided to not go that route purposefully for several reasons, mostly, personal and faith reasons. It's like, listen, the other brands, we'll say that are out there, that are in those scenes, we don't want to be those. We don't want to be shoulder to shoulder with them. We want to stand out on our own and really, again, promote the gospel and promote faith.
Yeah.
Like we don't want you to order our drink with a double vodka in it.
That's a good
you know
point.
What I mean? So that's our big thing. It's like you can't renew yourself in one hand and give yourself a hangover in the other.
Yeah.
So not for those out there, not saying, look, you do what you want with it, but that was just our choice in that scene.
Yeah.
It's like it could have done great probably. So that was the part that we're like, we know financially it could have been a gain for us and it could have been an easy transition, but it was something that we decided against. So.
And that's a good point because for our audience, this is a mineral water and the flavor that I'm holding right now is lemon lime flavor. So you brought up a good point because then they could be like, oh, I'll mix it with my tequila or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. And soon you guys will also have a still water as well.
Correct. We're going to be doing a non-carbonated version, same flavor. And then we're also just going to be doing a regular non-carbonated, non-flavored version. And that is just still with the electrolytes, though, because that's really important. We don't believe in giving dead water, so to speak. And I use that loosely.
I love that. No, it's true because you go to gyms and you get the dead water. You get like a like the Nestle cheap waters or an Arrowhead, and it doesn't. It's just water with a lot of microplastics, basically.
Exactly.
Kind of like a tap water in a sense as well.
Exactly. Or you fill your water bottle with that thing on the wall or whatever. It's nice because it's convenient, but you have no idea what you're drinking or what you're getting. So that's the difficulty that you face.
Yeah. Then we have another flavor. Can't talk about it yet, but we have another flavor going to be coming out as well. Fingers crossed, hopefully by the end of Q1 or at least the end of Q2.
Oh, we're going to make it happen Q1.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we got to get on the production line.
We're going to make it happen. It'll be out there. We got this down now.
And people
wanna
can
keep saying
order
that.
online at the moment, right?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. You can go to renewalrain.com and just go right to the water. Right at the top, it says water. And then you'll be able to click on it. And currently we have buy 2 cases and get 1 case free, which automatically puts you into free shipping, which is huge because the shipping cost on water is ridiculous.
It's heavy because it's heavy,
That's
right?
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
what I was saying earlier. That's something we didn't necessarily recognize or plan for either. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, we bought a case and it was $19 to ship it. I'm like, well, that's tough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this deal helps out those folks a lot.
So if you buy 2 cases, free shipping.
If you buy 2 cases, you get free shipping as well. If you spend $50 in general, free shipping. So by buying 2 and getting that 1 free, you automatically get that free shipping anyway.
Perfect. I love that. Now, my next question is, either one of you can answer it, or both of you. I know sometimes people confuse you for Liquid Death, even though you are not Liquid Death, no affiliation whatsoever, and also a whole different meaning. I'm not sure if you guys can even talk about that. What is that like to be kind of confused with Liquid Death?
We, thus far, with at least the small market segment that we've spoken with, they draw similarities. There's not necessarily confusion because I think we've done a pretty good job. Again, shout out to Stefan and all the marketing folks we've got.
Yes, the logo's different.
Exactly. but as far as like just I guess I'll use the word vibe. I hate using that word, but the word vibe of it, I understand that. Really our goal is to not, be like anyone else. It's to be our own separate market, our own separate beverage, our own separate everything, our own vertical, essentially. They're doing great things. There's several other waters that do great things, but ours, 100%, the goal of the
Yours
mission
is the best.
faith.
Yes,
Well, thank you.
faith-based.
It's all about faith.
Yes.
Like, the water is what it is. That's just Jesus and God working through us and giving us an opportunity to give back something. So it isn't about a competition with this brand or that brand, or they don't do this right or they don't do this right. All we can do is focus on us and what we are compelled to do through our faith, and that's what this is. This is a culmination of that. And look, I hope they do incredible things. I hope everybody does great. But all I can say is, with what we want to do here, it's all about the faith. Like, we're trying to get faith in people's hands, get it in their bellies, which sounds kind of crazy to say, but hopefully they like it too. We don't want to just give people a product they're like, it's a cool brand, but tastes like dog water. We don't want that. So we want people to actually enjoy it as well. So that's it. I mean, again, it's no competition and no disrespect to anybody. Everybody deserves their little piece of the pie. But for us, it's all faith and getting it in the hands of believers and non-believers alike.
Beautiful. And can you guys share any stories or testimonials from any of your ongoing customers?
Yes, actually. We have one who was our first customer. His name is Isaac. He actually drove to our launch party that we had on September 2nd. He drove from Minnesota, Montana.
Wow.
Yeah.
He drove from Montana and all the way there, and we ended up having him stay at the house. But what's really interesting is that he himself used to drink Liquid Death. This came out and it blended with his faith, so then he started drinking that. But now he's actually, because he does race driving, he races like Honda Civics and stuff. He, with his group of guys, now they all want it. They've stopped drinking Liquid Death now. And he actually recently did a video comparing the flavors together, and that also did really well. That one guy, Isaac alone, has done so much marketing for us.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely incredible. And if we can have 100,000 more people like him, that would be incredible. Yeah. That's I would say the biggest testimony right now is somebody who actually is drawn into the brand, believes what we're doing, but then also too sees what we're doing to then implement it in his own community as well.
I love that. And you guys also have an affiliate marketing plan available on your website too, which I love because, as mentioned earlier, we're in crazy times. And I think there are a lot of people coming back to the church because they're kind of waking up. And I'm seeing there's a lot more faith-based influencers. So for anybody who's watching that's faith-based influencer, go to renewalrain.com and check out their affiliate program. Because it's better for, if they have such a huge following, if they were able to get their hands on your water and actually understand your mission and how real it is. And it tastes really good. I love mineral water and I like lime, so I'm a fan already.
Win-win.
I've had it already a few times, but long story short, I do believe that your brand is going to be moving mountains in the near future. And it's good to have something positive and motivational.
Thank you. We do have an influencer by the name of Bryce Crawford currently. Shout out to Bryce Crawford, incredible person and just human being all around, separate from the business side of things. But he himself goes out and evangelizes to people. He prays for people to be healed, also prays for them to also accept Christ. It's not just about going out there and seeing miracles happen, but also allowing that miracle to happen inside of you too. And he's doing that, and he's doing it biblically. And that is incredible to see, because that's the kind of, that's a really small example of what we want on a global scale for individuals to do. So if you've never checked out Bryce Crawford, go check him out.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. No, and exactly like what you guys said, it's good that he's speaking the word of Jesus and helping others. Sometimes people are lost and they don't realize that there's so much help around them, and they have to accept it, just like they have to accept Jesus to have that miracle change within them. How can people support your company and help spread the message? You have an influencer program, which is what I mentioned. But aside from that, is there other ways that people can help support you guys?
Absolutely. So, you mentioned our website, which anybody, renewalrain.com, RenewalRain. We have gotten a couple of people who are like, Rain? Or like REIGN? No, not that. We're not that creative. Don't give it that much credit. So renewalrain.com, that's the site. But other ways that are very, very simple, to Nico's point, like, our most traction was from our organic posts from a person that we had never met. We had no idea who the guy was. We started our social pages, again, all ourselves. And that's one of the blessings that we have thus far at this point in the company. We still own all of it. So we're the primary decision makers, for better or worse. If something's messed up, it's our fault. But also we can make decisions pretty quickly and move swiftly if there's something that makes sense. Like working with Mr. Crawford, he's been awesome. And he reached out to us initially, and we just had a conversation and it worked out. So making organic posts, letting people know what you think about the product, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. Like, we're not here to tell you have to tell us it's good. Yep. It's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that you enjoy the product and let people know. So feedback, again, for influencers or anyone really, you can reach out to us on socials as well, whether it be Instagram. That's really kind of our primary driver right now. But just letting people know organically, that's our reach right now. About the product, about your experience with it, and what you thought.
So do you guys also work with any charities?
Yes, actually. So we are currently going to be donating 2 pallets of water to the victims in Asheville, North Carolina, to the Asheville Dream Center, which is a nonprofit that's geared towards helping the community, whether it's homeless, children, mothers and fathers, you name it, they take care of it. And then also, too, we work with Bethany Hamilton, who has her nonprofit as well, geared towards amputees and young amputees, children, both male and female. And, she teaches them the Bible, goes out with them, and just helps build their confidence, which is really good. And then she takes them out for surf days.
Beautiful.
And so that's really cool. And other nonprofits like the Columbus Dream Center as well, which is the same thing as the Asheville Dream Center. And there's one actually in LA as well that does the same thing. And we're trying to work with them too, to start getting stuff around like the Skid Row area and start moving in that way. But yeah, so far those are the only ones, but we're looking for more because in the future, what we want to do and what we will do is we're going to have a voting system where people are going to be able to choose which nonprofit they want to receive donations of certain proceeds of the can at the end of the year. And so we're going to have 5 different ones. You get 3 votes, and every time you purchase a can, you're going to be able to do that. Now, that won't be up until the end of the year. We have to build the relationships with the nonprofits and get them all in agreement to be on there and stuff. But, yeah, that's where we're going right now. And they're not going to be our main focus, I will say that. But we do want to be the arms of Christ and make sure that we are extending to all of those places with our resources that don't generate resources. So, yeah.
I love that you're doing that because it's a way to show people that not only are you a brand with faith, you actually are living in faith in a sense, right? So there's people that go to church every Sunday, but sometimes they don't practice it at home. And here you guys even practicing it Monday through Friday by helping other communities and just kind of giving back. And even if it's with your time or donating water as well. Aside from that, do you guys have any miracles that you've experienced during this process or even in the past that has brought you closer to God?
That's a really good question. So, and Nico will know where I'm headed with this pretty quickly. So to me, and this is a personal kind of anecdote, people think of miracles, they think it has to be metaphysical or something that's otherworldly, or something that just it doesn't make sense. There's no science to explain it. For me, honestly, my whole life's been a miracle to me. I experienced quite a bit of hardship as a young person. Dealt with my mother had drug issues throughout my childhood. She actually overdosed when I was 12. Father had alcoholism issues and a lot of different things going on like that. So to be able to, and he passed away when I was young, basically bounced around from, house to house, place to place, and somehow here we are. We're in the middle of LA talking about this company that honestly to me makes no sense. To me, it's a miracle. So couldn't be more grateful and couldn't be more excited about everything. And I'm gonna keep it together. It's just, to me, that's a genuine miracle. It really is. It's usually isn't hard for me to talk about that stuff, but sometimes when you telling a stranger or a bunch of people, it's difficult. He's seen me struggle with it very few times. I can talk about that, and it usually doesn't get me. But to me, my whole entire life's a miracle, and just here in this second, truly to me is a real miracle. It's it makes no sense, but I couldn't be more thankful to God for the opportunity, because that's all it is. For me, the opportunity for an opportunity is a miracle, and it's unbelievable, genuinely, to me.
And I'd say well, hold on one second. I am going to say, don't forget the other miracle part too is now going from a last name that you didn't care about to now we own a compound together, and the street's getting developed, and now the street is his last name.
That's amazing.
So
cool.
Going from not liking your last name because of what he just described to then seeing your stuff on a sign and being able to live long enough to see that is, I guess, where he's coming from.
Yeah,
I just wanted people to know that too.
100%.
And Waylon, with that, what you just mentioned, Aaron, it shows that you have changed the path of your family.
Yeah.
You aren't the statistic in a sense. You didn't go back into that same path that they were heading down. You changed it for your family. Now you have a street name with your last name, which is beautiful.
That part's pretty surreal. It's almost hard to wrap my head around that, to be honest. But overall, again, I'm more composed now. I was over there about to break down. Good Lord. But again, there's been a lot of things like that, and that's just the tip of the iceberg of things that have happened in a collection of years, over 4 to 8 years, and to be here in this moment, to your point, to feel as if I'm kind of riding the ship a little bit, and it's impossible without the faith and without God. None of it's me. That's the part that I realize every single morning is yes, am I being worked through, and am I the physical body that's doing the things? Sure. It's not my vision. It's God's vision. It's His word. It's what I'm practicing, and it's really righting everything, all the wrongs, and it couldn't feel better. Genuinely, it's the best feeling that you could ever imagine, even on the rough days, because a lot of it's not that fun. Riding the ship is not as fun as it sounds. It sounds really cool, but it's a lot of hard work, a lot of early mornings, late nights, all that corny stuff. To your question, it's a real miracle, every single second of it.
Beautiful.
I would say for myself that my miracle came from my heart getting softened. I had a really hard time, and he 6 years ago, I didn't even talk to him. We were at a party, and he came, and everybody else was there, and I was just so hardened-hearted that I didn't even talk to anybody that was there. And it's not because I was intimidated. I'm definitely not. It was more so about I don't know. I just didn't have I didn't care for anybody, which I didn't think was a problem until about 2 years ago. When I don't know what happened. I woke up and I felt things, and granted, I had been praying since then. Something's wrong with me, because there's no way that I can look at people. You say that you love them, but when I look at them, I don't see that, or I don't love them, or I see maybe patterns from other, a collection of other people inside of this person. I know exactly where this is going, kind of thing, and. Even when I moved in with him, even just up to last year, it was something that I was changing. We would be out at dinners, and I'd be like, man, no, they got this. And instead, he was actually the one that kind of helped reshape because really what it was this passion for people, and I didn't know that. I thought that I actually didn't like them, but I loved them a lot. And it came off as anger, and it came off as hate, because I didn't know how to properly communicate that until I finally learned that it's actually because truly accept the love of God. So if I don't accept the love of God, I can't actually love other people. And so until that happened, and through the process of being with him and everything else like that, that changed my heart to where now I can actually look at people and go, okay, I see why you're hurt. I see why you're responding this way. This is not against flesh and blood. This is powers and principalities, which means that there is something else other than this that is the issue. And I think that that, for me, is a miracle in myself, because I wouldn't be able to do this if I was still hard-hardened. So, yeah.
That is a true miracle, because you're able to now change your ideologies. Instead of having more of a judgment personality, now you have more of an understanding for people, with still having the gift of discernment, where you're still kind of like curious, but also maybe understand like, well, maybe they're someone is a certain way because of how they were raised, maybe.
Sure.
But long story short, it shows that you have more compassion and understanding, which is a miracle. It truly is.
It is. I'm grateful for it, because not having compassion is an empty place.
And going back to both your stories, it ironically goes with Renewal Rain. So kind of flows. I don't know if you want to credit ChatGPT, even though this is not an ad, credit Jesus, obviously, but it just shows you how your life stories kind of flow very well with your brand, Renewal Rain.
Yeah.
No, it most definitely does. I mean, it's like a match made in heaven. I couldn't come up with anything cornier than that. So that's what you get. When we settled on the name, we both were in agreement, like, this is the one. That's the one. Like, it works out perfectly from those stories to marketability to everything. It just checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
And both of you are very young. Both of you are in your 20s. And I feel that a lot of people in their 20s go through a change in their life. And then they go into their 30s and the change keeps going. But nonetheless, it shows that you guys found your faith again. You are open to keep renewing yourselves, and no matter what. And it even just shows that you have the best brand ambassador, which is Jesus, on your can. So the whole thing just flows perfectly.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate that. We're glad you enjoy it as well. Honestly, above all else, glad you enjoy the product, and we're obviously so unbelievably grateful to even just be here.
Do you guys plan on working with any athletes in the near future?
We actually do. So luckily, here recently, we've been able to work with Chuck Liddell from the UFC. That's a huge thing for me. I'm a huge sports fan. Nico was an athlete as well. I would say I probably love sports just day to day more than about anybody. I love it. So we're very thankful to be able to partner with Chuck. He's been rocking our apparel, and which you can also find at renewalrain.com. So he's been rocking the apparel. To anybody that is an athlete, that's a faith-based athlete, a Christian athlete, we'd love to talk with you. Any hopes of partnership or whatever that looks like. We definitely are, I would say, in the market and open right now, because sports are a big thing for us. And any faith-based athlete, again, we're sport agnostic, not religious agnostic. We don't care what you play. I don't care if you throw a frisbee, catch a football, or kick a soccer ball. We'll definitely have the conversation with you. We'll just spread the word.
Yeah. And not fighting athletes, but we have a different kind of athlete. He's a fisher. He's doing fishing. His name is Zuggy. And we also are talking right now with a couple of other amateur boxers, a smaller time soccer player that plays for the Columbus Crew. Yeah, we have a couple other ones we can't talk about, but we're shooting for the stars, really, like guys like Undertaker and Chris Pratt. That's not an athlete, but just to name a couple of people that we're going to be trying to
one off the top too,
hit,
just because this is going to be out there. C.J. Stroud, old Ohio State Buckeye. I'm from Columbus. He's a big time Christian, killing it with Houston. I'm in Dallas a lot. C.J., look us up. So definitely we're open. It's an open book as far as who we're going to work with on the Christian athlete side.
Beautiful. And you guys have electrolytes in your water.
We do. Yes. We do. We're health conscious over here. Christ focused, health conscious.
Beautiful.
That might be a tagline.
And here at the Christian Channel, we love working with brands like yourself, and that's why we wanted to have this interview with you today. So we really want to support you guys. So for everyone that's watching, you can go to renewalrain.com and purchase waters with our affiliate promotional code, which is Christian Channel 15 for 15% off. And we really hope that it'll get people to your page and just kind of understand the amazing mission that you guys are really trying to help show America that you can be renewed, as in Ephesians that states there is a renewal, and Jesus died on the cross for our sins, so he loves us very much. Also, aside from that, what is your social media handle? Is it also just Renewal Rain?
Everything else is Renewal Rain except for Instagram. The guy who has Renewal Rain, please let us have it.
Yeah, we will buy it.
It's drink Renewal Rain right now, but we would like to have Renewal Rain.
Okay, so for Instagram, it is at Drink Renewal Rain. Perfect.
And then everywhere else is Renewal Rain.
Renewal Rain. Yep.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for your time, for flying in from Ohio and from Texas. I really love what you are doing for the water community by having electrolytes, clean water, and for our Christian community and helping people also come back to their faith as well. Thank you so very much, Aaron and Waylon, for coming on to the show today. You flew in from Ohio, you flew in from Texas. It means a lot that you took the time to come over here in Los Angeles. And again, everyone go to their website, renewalrain.com.